All right.
You're not balding.
I'm not balding.
I gotta
No,
put my hat on.
no. I rode my motorcycle over here, so I don't have my hat. I forgot to put it in my little motorcycle box.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, and don't judge us, but we're having a few toddies for our brothers in arms, those who have fallen. So
Fallen comrades.
our fallen comrades. I don't know if everybody knows, but Travis and I are Marines. Our Marines. Never an ex-Marine, always a former Marine, right? So
Yeah.
we're former Marines, and this means a lot to us this weekend. And we're even though we're doing work and yard work, and tag results came out.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. We're still remembering those who served and who fallen. So
Yeah. The ones who don't get to hunt anymore.
yeah. So this is for them.
Yeah.
But on a positive side too, I mean, tag results.
Tag results.
Man, we
Yeah.
didn't do too bad.
No.
Yeah.
I always do good. Go check video 1. I always do good.
Yeah, you're the math guy. You have the stats down. So
Yeah. I know how to draw.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems, I mean, even there's still, I think there's 1,150 tags left over or something like that. So if you're out there.
Is there really?
Yeah.
No kidding. Huh?
There's a list of them actually.
For archeries and
That's
stuff
my
like
phone.
that.
Yeah, if you pull up your phone or if you go to your account, your licensing account, the
Yeah.
ADAL licensing, the whole sheet breakdown of all the leftover tags is on there.
Really?
You can see what's left over for second draw. And second draw comes around in June. So check that out. See if there's anything you want to apply for and apply. So don't complain about not getting a tag because
Yeah.
there were 1,150 tags left over. You could have got a tag.
Well, I remember last year I was looking at the first come, first serve because I was bummed out I didn't get an antelope tag again, which somebody got an antelope tag this year. But there was a lot of archery opportunities throughout with antelope and deer. So yeah, so if you're willing or if you have in the past archery hunted, I mean, most of them are archery. I think probably the 1,150. But
Grab your phone. Check it out.
yeah. Well,
We can read
it would
it.
take me too long to cruise through it, but
My phone's recording.
but yeah, but check it out.
You guys look at it.
Yeah, you guys look at it. Check it out. I mean, there may be a tag waiting for you there. So
Yeah, I agree.
that's another good thing. I mean, first come, first serve.
Yeah.
I've never scored a tag off of there.
Yeah.
I'm never quick enough, but
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we've gotten tags off of there. It's, you see it every year. People complain about not getting a tag, and it's like a lot of the tags left over are junior tags, for one. But like, especially with first come, first serve, like not drawing a tag is not the worst thing because a lot of the tags that you returned are bomber tags. Like,
yeah.
my dad, he got a tag down south in like the coveted unit of Nevada
Yeah.
on first come, first serve.
Yeah.
My wife got a tag not quite as far south, but it was another highly coveted unit. And then even my buddy, he got a tag around the Ely area that's a pretty coveted unit. All of them were first come, first serve.
Yeah, and
There's a lot of great opportunity on there.
I've heard stories of not stories, but I've heard of non-residents getting first come, first serve tags. Yeah, I mean it's good. It's a good deal. It's kind of a cool program.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It's great for Andale. It's great for the state. It's great for hunters. It's great for everybody. It's a win-win-win.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love it. So,
So here we are sitting Memorial Day weekend, and it's like 80 degrees outside.
yeah.
Everybody's excited. I
2
don't know
weeks
about-
ago, it was snowing.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but the vibe. I was talking to my brother about this yesterday. We went over to his house, and we were talking about like the phone calls we're getting from friends and like
Oh, man.
acquaintances that I've had like throughout the years calling me up and saying I got a Drew tag and this and that. So I mean, the vibe is really good right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I mean, if you didn't draw a tag and you're not successful in the first come first serve, you probably have friends that drew tags or family.
Yeah.
Go hunting, just
Go
go
hunting.
Yeah, just go.
That's like the hardest thing, like being a taxidermist. And it's my busiest time of year for work. And I used to go hunting with friends just on a whim. I'd be like, it's like they call me up the night before. It's like, I'm down. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I'd go on, 6, 7, 10 hunts a year. And now it's like I've had to limit my my friends going hunting with my
Yeah.
friends
Yeah.
because it's like, all right, I'm doing enough of my own hunting and enough with family. Like I can't really spare any more time.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, just go hunting.
Yeah, I had a friend text me yesterday, and he's like, "Drew my California."
Oh no!
Yeah,
way.
man, I was so psyched for him. I was just
Yeah.
excited.
Your neighbor, the guy I know, a couple streets, couple houses down, he drew a Cali tag.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
the one.
that's the
Yeah.
one. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He drew a Cali tag for
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Yeah.
great.
Yep. We could probably say the unit.
Yeah, he's 051.
Oh no, the guy I know, he drew 032.
Oh
Another
no,
neighbor.
and maybe another neighbor then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my down the hill neighbor. He drew 051.
No kidding.
So yeah, pretty psyched for those guys.
Yeah,
If you don't
heck
know
yeah.
about California Bighorn sheep tags, I mean,
Yeah.
they're not a dime a dozen. And
No,
it's
that
pretty cool
tag's-
when you draw them. So
The only thing harder to draw than that is a Rocky.
yeah, pretty much
Mountain goat moose.
nowadays, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. I know another guy drew a sheep tag. Actually, it's the same guy. Drew
Oh.
the sheep tag and he drew bull tag.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So he got lucky.
And my sister-in-law drew a pretty awesome bull tag.
Oh yeah.
Yes, she drew the pilot tag.
Yeah, rifle rut tag.
Yes. Hey, congratulations, Amanda, on that
Yeah.
tag. So we're gonna have some fun in
Shout out.
September.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna be
because
fun.
my brother and I have some muzzleloader tags. So
Yeah.
we're not trying to rub it into those of you who didn't have tags
Yeah.
or didn't draw tags, but all
Yeah.
we're saying is go hunting. So
Yeah, I actually personally know a few people that are returning tags because they drew tags and they can't take off the time. So
keep your eye
check
out.
out first come first serve.
Keep your eye on
Check
that.
out second draw. Like you still have chances. And then even if you don't draw, like the chucker hunting is going to be phenomenal. Any upland game.
Oh
hunting,
man, chucker crazy right now.
it's going to be
Everything's pairing up.
phenomenal, man.
Quail, I can't imagine. I
Dude,
can't
there's
believe
quail
it.
everywhere.
Quail
I
are
can't-
everywhere.
Yeah. And then the duck hunting is going to be great. Another year, good water. Like the small game hunting, if you didn't draw a big game tag, I actually like, if I ever get skunked in the big game draw, I'm
yeah.
not going to be too disappointed because I'm like,
No.
I've been wanting to get back into doing like more bird hunting for a long time.
I love eating chucker.
Oh man, I love shooting ducks.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things. It's like I always have so many big game tags that like finally January rolls around. It's like, all right, I can go bird hunting. And it's like,
It's almost
man,
closed and everything's froze
yeah.
over.
It's like this is the 10th year almost where it's like
Yeah.
I barely got to do any bird hunting. So,
Yeah.
go bird hunting, go shoot coyotes, whatever. Just get outdoors.
So those of you or anybody that's going to go hunting, we were just talking a lot about how to prep and what's the next steps. You got a tag. You have a friend that has a tag, a buddy, a brother, an uncle, or whatever. You know what I mean?
I think I poured too much
Sister or mom. Yeah.
out. Rough.
It wasn't. Yeah. It really isn't that. Just know where you're going to go. Well, we're going to kind of start breaking down into some units and not, spilling the beans, so to speak. But where's the units up north that we frequent that are doing well for deer?
Yeah.
I mean, so you'll see us. We'll kind of transition. We'll in a couple videos, and we'll talk about some of the units. And for those of you locals or anybody that's frequenting them, like we're not spilling the beans. If you already drew the tag, you drew the tag. So I mean, it doesn't matter. But
Yeah. Well,
conditions really.
Yeah. Comment in the video like if you drew a unit and you never been there before, like the things you would like to know about the area. Like we're not going to blow away anybody's spot. We're not going to talk about like, oh, go right here. We're going to just generalize everything, but like, how far away you are from services, how much extra gas you need to pack, tires, if
It's a big deal.
a bad tire country, like
Yeah.
you got a lot of sharp rocks, things like that. We'll talk a little bit about water. We'll kind of geek out about water and precipitation, herd trends in the area, stuff like that. But
Burns, recovering burn areas,
burns,
like
big one. Yeah.
that's a real big one.
A mastication projects, how to find those, how to find the burns,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like
Maps, like
maps,
reading
yeah.
terrain, stuff like that. Like there's so much, and like Nevada is such a diverse state. Like we've hunted out of state, and it's pretty predictable where animals are going to be. Nevada's pretty broad.
Yes.
There's a lot. There's middle country, there's high country, there's low areas
Yeah.
that are productive. I mean, yeah.
It's crazy. You can get up the top of Lamoille, and you're like, "There's no way that this is Nevada."
Mhm.
And then you get down.
It looks like a little Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get down some of these salt flats, and you're like,
There's no way
Where
there's
am
a
I?
deer here.
"Yeah." And then, I mean, it's just every little biome you can think of, Nevada has.
Yeah.
So, learning how to hunt, how to hunt those different types of terrain, where those terrains are. It's all helpful information.
Yeah, and we talk specifically to Nevada about, we mention and like we'll reference out of state just because we hunt out of state.
Yep.
And it's different. Nevada's different.
Yep.
It's
Nevada's
very different.
different. It's
For
very
example, like we were just talking about south of 50 right now.
different. Oh yeah.
Man,
They're
they
in a
haven't got a
drought.
lot of they haven't got a lot of water. So
Yeah. They're in a hard drought. They've been in a drought for a few years. That's why there was the increase in tags for sheep in 268.
Mhm.
I mean, they're having to helicopter a lot of water in. They're struggling down there for water. Whereas north of Highway 50, we've been blessed 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And we haven't had 3 consecutive wet winters since the late 90s, and we haven't had them to this magnitude since the 80s.
Yeah.
For some of the spots. Some of the spots in the 90s were just as good.
Yeah. And there's a few podcasts that came out in like April with NDOW officials that or biologists that talk about some of this stuff. And I think NDOW just came out with a podcast too, right?
Yeah, well,
I haven't listened to it yet.
NDOW has their podcast. They've been doing it for a while. It's pretty short, but they upload some good information on there.
Yeah.
They don't really dive into the weeds. Those podcasts, I think Epic and Go Hunt did them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So those ones are really good because they
Really
really dive into the weeds on it. The NDOW podcast is kind of like just skimming the top on stuff.
I know they just released one though, and I haven't
Yeah.
listened to it. So
I think the one they just
yeah.
released is dealing with mountain goats and bighorn sheep.
Oh, okay.
It's like
All
this
right.
the state of the state.
Oh,
when it comes
that's
to
the
them.
state of the state. Huh?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good listen. Go check those out.
No, but I mean, if you're gonna go out and start scouting, it's a great time. Like, no matter where you're at in the state, whatever tag you got, just get out. Like, make sure you're like we talked about earlier. Bring a spare tire. Bring your tire plugs. If you're running a side by side that runs a belt, bring an extra belt. Like,
Yeah.
I just went out on a shed horn hunting trip like 3 weeks ago and smoked an axle, CV axle. So. Yeah.
One thing a lot of people forget or like don't even like consider. Jumper cables are nice,
Yeah.
but they only
Not
work if you have something to hook up
Yeah,
to.
exactly. So
Bring a jumper pack, or even if you don't have a jumper pack, you can get. There's I got mine at Harbor Freight. It's a
I love
plug for
Harbor
them.
Freight.
We're not sponsored by them.
I
Maybe we
love
should
Harbor
be.
Freight.
But they have little trickle charger solar panels that are 1.5 amp. They have alligator clips you can hook right to your terminals.
Yep.
So, I mean,
Another
those are
one.
good.
Dark Energy has those too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
that's stuff
a little
to
more
consider.
spendy, but it's good stuff. Yeah.
Because thinking of the hunt's one thing and it's all great, but like there's a lot of stuff that can ruin a hunt on a hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just looking at a couple of rigs that we own, and we were talking about the one that you started to get going yesterday. And it's kind of fun when the tags come out, the results come out. It kind of primes you, gets you fired up for getting your rolled rig going, or like, how am I going to scout this year? And I'll tell you one thing that that's bothering me right now is I have a nice set of Swarovski EL ranges.
Yeah.
I dropped them during the shed hunt.
Oh no.
And something's loose in there. And I have to do this and bring them up to get them to focus. I have other binoculars, but they've all broke at some point, and they're just kind of back burner binoculars. So I'm in the market for some binos again.
What's the warranty on some of
They
those?
suck. I'm going to send them off, and then it's probably going to take me 8 months to get them back. But yeah. So I'm gonna be.
That sucks.
Yeah, I'm going to be purchasing a set of binos here soon.
Yeah.
But so things like that. I mean, binos, spotting scopes. I mean, in Nevada, you can. I mean, nothing's close quarter.
One thing, I always, no matter what I draw, where I'm going hunting, even if I'm hunting out my back door, I always have a second rifle.
Yep.
or a second muzzle loader.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I always bring a backup in case something happens. I bring 2 of stuff because like the last thing I want to do is be out there hunting and then have to cut my hunt short because I drop my scope, ding it up, or my muzzleloader has a hang fire and doesn't go off.
Yeah.
And I won't go off.
That happened to us last year. My brother.
Yeah.
On a cow hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It happened at the range last year with your brother too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
So-
we had to shuffle between his son. We had to shuffle a muzzleloader over so he can knock one cow down, and that one hung fire, and
Yeah.
they still hung around. So we had to load that one real quick and shuffle it over to him.
Yeah. So it's always good practice to bring 2 of everything you need.
Yeah, I mean it's hot. Like summertimes are hot. Summertime scouting is warm.
Yeah.
So bring like one of those pop-up shades. I like to pack one of those in my pickup. Like, and you don't always have to drag your side-by-side out either. Like those of you that run side-by-sides, like just get in your pickup.
Yeah, you're not going to catch me in a side-by-side.
Yeah, I know.
You talking about bringing a pop-up for shade, it's like I'll throw a tarp in the truck, but by and large, when I'm hunting in August or any time where it's hot, I'm in the truck with the AC on and I'm glassing from there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I glass from the truck until I find it, and then I get out and go after it, which is probably a video we'll probably do in the future because we were actually talking about that.
About gear setup, yeah.
Well, no, about the lost art of road hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Because like so many people think road hunting is driving around and trying to find one off the side of the road and shoot it. It's like that can be part of it, but it's not really a good tactic.
No.
But there is a good tactic to road hunting. And actually, if you dive into the record book, a lot of those guys were road hunting. And a lot of these old timers that killed giant bucks, they were road hunting. But it's a different style. You're not driving. It's not like you're hunting the Sierra Nevada in California where you see that guy who has his rifle hanging out the window.
No. This is just getting to places A to B, getting out, walking 100 yards to a boulder pile, and then looking down into a valley or something like that.
You can cover a lot more ground that way. So you see a lot of stuff on YouTube now where it's like guys that are packing into the mountains, and I've done that. I like doing it.
I still do it sometimes.
I do it for the experience, though.
Yeah.
I don't do it because I think I can kill a really big animal doing that.
Not Nevada. No.
Covering distance and checking multiple spots is kind of my go-to. That's where I start, and then I branch out if I need to.
Yeah. There's places in Idaho, don't get me wrong, there's places in Idaho where I know that's not effective because from experience. So I do have to venture off a mile and a half, 2 miles to get into some country that is hard, that hosts deer. But here, I mean, cover some ground, get some glass out there.
Glass.
Stop at points of interest.
Yeah. Glass is probably one of the most important things. And that's how I go road hunting is I'm driving and I'm stopping and I'm glassing and I'm looking way off. Like I'm going to have to put a stalk on them if I see them, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I can cover 15, 20 different spots in a day. Whereas if you pack in, you're restricted to 1 or 2 basins.
Yeah, you have mile, you have a 3 mile.
Yeah, so you hope that big one's in that basin, but it's not always there. Whereas checking those spots, using your glass in all those spots, and then also just knowing where bedding areas is. It's really nice and convenient when you have 2 hunters because you can always have a guy drop you off and then pick you up.
Yes.
And you can both hunt.
Yep.
But we'll dive into the weeds in that later video.
Yeah, because my brother and I were talking about, gosh, I can't remember what exactly happened. But we didn't have the side-by-side. And it was last season. Still going. And we discovered we were stopping a lot more because you have to go slower in a pickup, right? So we were glassing.
That's
a lot
good
more.
thing.
We were glassing a lot more.
That's one of the problems with side-by-sides.
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt. People get on their side-by-sides
And
because you can go
A to B,
faster.
A to B, yeah.
Because you can go faster, they're driving faster. Where that truck, you have to slow down. You catch a lot more. You see a lot more. Last year, one of my buddies, we went antelope hunting I was driving in front of him, and I had already driven by this little gully. And as soon as I drove out of that gully, he was coming into it. The antelope popped up. They were bedded down.
Yeah.
So it worked out great to their advantage because they saw them, whereas like they were bedded when we drove through there.
Yeah. And I think it was on his antelope hunt that we're kind of like, man, we're taking a lot more time here and we're seeing some stuff versus just ripping through the desert.
Yeah.
And then just going A to B, A to B, A to B all the time.
Yep.
And a little bit of, so if you do have a side by side, no harm, no foul. Just remember, like going A to B 3 miles away, you're missing that 3 miles.
Yeah.
So stop, slow down, take a look at some stuff, find points of interest, like, you know, Go Hunt Maps. Gosh, I can't remember that one that Seek One uses now. Something Spartan Forge, like all those. You know, look at your areas, kind of map some things out. I know when I'm mapping out of state, I'm like looking for kind of high points. I'm looking for, you know, places I can get a good grand view of things and stuff like that. Because I don't know the areas when I go to Arizona to hunt coos or, you know,
and it varies too per species, right? Because like when I'm looking for much different things when I'm e-scouting for deer than when I'm e-scouting for elk than when I'm e-scouting for antelope.
100%.
Like I'm looking for much different stuff.
Yeah.
So all that varies. We could probably break that down into a video.
Yeah, I think we can talk about it a little bit at least. I mean, it's
Yeah.
especially in Nevada, because if you are hunting some of the lower country, you're gonna want to find those places to get you a little elevated, so that you can see some valley floor or a mid-range of a mountain, something like that, water sources, things like that. So. But I think the bottom line is for this video is we just wanted to, it's Memorial Day weekend. I've been working on my yard all weekend. I'm dirty, grimy, been planting, been starting a new lawn and stuff like that. So, I mean, we just wanted to get together and congratulate everybody, right?
Yeah, congratulate everybody. More importantly, drink some stones.
Yeah, yep. And I got a little Kona here, but
I've been working on, I've got a truck that's been a lawn ornament for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And I've been working on that because my goal this year is to have a picture with a buck in the back of that truck.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So that's been my project. I'll probably add that in a short, so stay tuned.
Yeah.
I'll do a little short of it running and driving.
And for those of you that haven't caught on yet to like who we are, like that's who we are. Hunting to us means something a lot different than it does to a certain percentage of people. I mean, it's about, you know, like Trav has young kids. I mean, those kids get an opportunity more so than even us. I mean, the having the big buck picture in the back of that old Jeep truck, you know what I mean? Something that means something to you. And,
it could be a Forky if my boy's in there holding the horns and he's excited. I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, this is what this channel's about. We're not sitting here trying to tell you how to do it, how to, you know, we're gonna talk about things that we've done just to share, but not to like say, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. Just get out.
Yeah, just getting out. That's dude. I've always said there's a healing power in nature. Like, no matter how bad stuff is going in your life, you get out there and you get out in nature, in the woods. We don't really have woods in Nevada, but you get out in the sagebrush and it's like, everything's better, you know? It just takes your mind off of it. And like, even if you don't have a tag, just find someone to go hunting with. Take your shotgun. You can take a rifle and shoot coyotes. You could take a fishing pole. There's a lot of seasons where some of the best fishing some of the best fishing is in the fall when we're all focused on hunting.
It is, and the bird hunting.
Yeah, and
the bird hunting.
I mean, it's great.
I went out in January trying to. I called my cousin from California. I'm like, hey, come out here. The chucker insane. Hard to find a chucker in January after they've been shot at for a while. Yeah, but in October they're right by the side by side of the truck.
We always. I don't buy into the old myth. Like a lot of the old timers will tell you, it's like, oh, you never take a shotgun when you're deer hunting. It'll scare all the deer. It's like, I've shot a lot of deer in my life. I've shot a lot of deer and watched a deer 10 yards away stand up and look at it and not run off until I get there.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not of the belief that a gunshot scares them.
Yeah.
So
And it's placement, right?
yeah, and we took our shotguns to Utah last year when we hunted there. Man, we waylaid the chucker.
Yeah.
We got a grip of chucker
Yeah.
while we were there, and we were just deer hunting. It's like when we see them, it's like, oh, let's get out and chase chucker for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to deer hunting.
And that's what we're about. I mean, we just love to have fun. Yeah. Are we
Enjoy the
Do we
experience.
get picky now and then? Yeah, depends.
Well,
on the
that's
tag,
because
but yeah.
the most depressing part of the hunt is when you kill something, because then your hunt's over.
It's done.
It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, even me, like if I were to kill a big old giant buck, it's like, oh, it's not the last day.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, I just enjoy being out there. So
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I'm gonna hunt for a big buck, but on the last day, I don't buy into that whole don't be happy or don't pass up.
The first day would shoot you, and the last day.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, that's total bogus. Whoever
Yeah.
came up with that, is silly. 'Cause
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I'll pass up a forky on the first day, last day of season. It's like, all right, I'm gonna eat you.
Yeah,
You know.
and we
So,
are. It's
I'll
kind
be
of
happy about
it's
it.
a steeple for you and your family for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
we've never bought meat at the grocery store. We live entirely off of game.
Yeah, I mean, you take it to a whole new level. Like,
Yeah, that's just.
I don't have young kids. I've got my wife and I have a daughter who's graduating from high school this year, and we eat a lot of wild game. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like our steeple.
Yeah, that's every night for dinner for us, and
Yeah.
that's just the way we want to live and prefer to live. you
Yeah,
know?
and it's great.
People lived a lot cleaner lives back in the day when they just lived off wild game, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
that's the way I want to live.
Yeah,
Plus, it's something like it's a cool badge of honor. I think it's like, no, we're eating something that we were from point A to point B, point Z.
process done.
You know.
everything. Yeah,
We shot it, we gutted it, we cut it up, we packaged it, we froze it or canned it or made jerky, and then we ate it. Like, we were there through the entire process, and I think you get a lot of respect for animals.
that means
when
something for.
Yeah,
yeah,
like there's something in that when you're there for everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we can probably. This was probably just a part one to.
Yeah,
On the
this is
weekend.
just kind of a premonition.
But
We're
just-
gonna be diving into like unit profiles. We'll go through all the units for everything: deer, antelope, elk. There'll be units we don't have much experience in, which we'll touch on, but it'll probably be more like water records describing terrain,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Just basic knowledge.
Yeah, and we'll try to bring some people in too that
Yeah.
friends, family, professionals, things like that, if we can.
Yeah,
You know, so
yeah. I
just comment too, like if you kind of like what we're doing and want to talk about a subject matter,
Yes.
hey, bring it up. Like,
Please.
we'll-
We barely
Yeah.
get any comments, so we will reply to your comments. So if there's something that interests you that you want us to cover, we have enough resources between guys at Endow, guides, boots on the ground experience, taxidermy, age structures, stuff like that. Like, we can touch on all of it. So just leave us a comment. We'll
Yeah.
get back to you.
or even if you want to come on and just talk about something you're passionate about. I mean, obviously we're
Yeah.
trying to keep this family friendly and everything else. You know, we're having a few beers, but that's no harm.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and we want to talk to everybody. We want to talk to the novice hunters, the
Yep.
experienced hunters, the guys in the middle. We want to talk to the biologists. We want to talk to commission members that set quotas. We want the perspective from every Nevada hunter that's out there. Now, if you want to come on, we are going to have to limit you to an extent because
Yeah,
we can't
yeah.
do this every day, all day long.
yeah, exactly. It's like once or
Yeah.
twice a week we're doing this right now. But
But we'll be picky. We'll
Yeah.
be choosy.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you're up here scouting or something like that, and we can talk about stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then
just comment.
pretty soon I'll be getting the tooth data back for all the animals that came into my shop last year. So I sent off 88 teeth, so I'll have the age on all those. I also logged the Boone and Crockett score of them, and I also logged the unit they came out of. But I probably won't give that too much to the public. That's more for like
Yeah,
what I talk about with the guys at Endow who are interested, because it's good record data. But definitely age structure and, Boone and Crockett score just to get a good eyeball of like where they were at. I mean, you'll be surprised.
Yeah, it's interesting some of the stuff, the tooth data you get.
And most of that data that I get, you can trace back, like when you get a big buck that's 5 to 8 years old, you can trace it back to a wet winter.
Yeah.
And it's pretty insane because it's you get a small buck in that's old, and it's like, oh, he's probably born in a drought year.
Yeah. And it's really cool because Travis, like, I don't get into data that much. Travis does.
I geek out over it.
And, like, when he brings stuff up, I'll be like, oh, yeah, that's, like, from 2018 or 17's winter. Like, that was probably, whatever. And then it ends up pretty close matching up just from field experience and guiding and then, like, looking at animals from all these different units and then comparing with what you come up with. It's like, it's pretty hand in hand.
Well, and I have conversations, with 200 to 300 hunters every year that bring stuff in. So it's like a few years, like the last few years, not last year, the year before so much, but the couple years before that, a lot of people would come in and be like, man, there's not many big bucks. There's like a bunch of 3-year-old deer. And then I'd send off the tooth, and it's like, no, this is a 7-year-old deer. He just
didn't have the.
He just did not have the nutrition from his mother the year he was born. So it's like he just wasn't ever going to be anything.
Yep. And we just talked about that too on some elk that he has that he's going to be mounting. Like he has a couple heavy ones, a couple lighter horn ones. It's like, I'll be interested on those.
Yeah, mass plays a huge effect too. I'd be interested to really get into the weeds where because I've seen I've shot big, wide, spindly bucks that were in the prime of their life.
Yeah.
And I've also mounted bucks that had great mass that were years younger. The buck I shot that was like really wide. He was spindly as could be. 26 inches wide, but that was inside spread.
Yeah.
That buck was 7, and I've had 3-year-olds come in that, they got 5 inches of mass on them, which is insane.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So it's like, where does the mass come into play? Is that a genetic thing, or is that a nutritional thing?
That's
a lot of questions.
That's the difference between the Kevin Hart and the LeBron James, right?
right.
Like, basketball player. Yeah, I mean, some of them are going to be basketball players. Some of them are not.
Yeah.
Some of them are not, no matter how old they get.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I do think there will be an uptick in deer quality just because we've been blessed with 3 wet winters in a row. So you got to think
I think you're going to get the full potential out of what is out there.
Yeah, because when 5 years from now, right, it's 2025. 5 years from now, when the bucks that are born this year are 5-year-old, well, they'll be 4-year-olds, so we'll say 6 years from now.
4.5,
Yeah. So when they're 5.5-year-olds, you're going to have a 5.5-year-old, a 6.5-year-old, and a 7.5-year-old.
Yeah.
All 3 age groups in the mature prime of their life. So there's just more potential for big bucks on the landscape. Whereas the last couple of years, we've had 2017 and 2019, which were wet winters. And so we have 2018 is a down year, and then 2016 was the first hard winter after a drought cycle, so there was a big down of nutrition. So it's you only had 2 years in that mature range where you could find a mature buck.
Yeah, and then 23 happened.
Yeah, we'll have to break that down.
But
explain it better. But
but I guess what you can look forward to is that in most of the state, like the northern part of the state, you're going to see full potential of what's out there.
Yes, I agree.
Of what genetics are out there, what DNA strands out there. I mean, you're going to see about where they can possibly be.
Yeah.
With good conditions.
I think.
So the snow's melting fast, though.
Yeah,
on the breweries.
I honestly think 6 years from now, the next potential state record mule deer has been born already.
Yeah.
I do believe that. And if he's not born already, he'll be born in a month.
It's going to be cool to see what comes into the shop.
Oh, yeah. It's great.
Yeah, because last archery season, you were sending me pictures. I'm like, oh, yes.
Dude.
We got past the curve.
Yeah. Yeah, we broke that tipping point. So, anyway, again, if there's anything you want us to cover, just leave a comment on here. I geek out over numbers and math. Joel is more boots on the ground hunting knowledge. Definitely more hunting knowledge than me, and more boots on the ground than me.
I get the text messages from him about the stats and everything. So
Yeah. Not everybody likes diving into the stats. That's just something I geek out over.
Yeah.
So
no, that's great. It's good.
Yeah.
No, I think.
And then this is another thing too, because people will see they'll see giant bucks coming out of one unit, and
don't quickly rush to that.
Like don't start chasing units because there's big deer coming out of them.
They're in all units.
The unit that you are in the most often, the one that you have the most experience with, is the unit that you're going to kill the biggest buck in.
Where do you know?
Or bull or antelope.
When you glass something 2 miles away and you know how to get there, like hands down, back of your hand type thing, hunt that unit.
Well, and that's a thing, dude, because thermals are a huge factor in Nevada. And just for instance, when I killed that big, wide, spindly buck, there were some guys going after him because I saw him on the first day, and I knew he was a mature deer just based on his body size and structure.
Yeah.
But there were some guys going in after him on the first day I was there, and I was looking at the route they were going in, and I'd been in there enough, and I was like, no, those guys aren't going to have a chance, because once they pass that first little rise, the thermals shift.
Yeah.
And they're going to be pinned down all day. Yep. And I was like, that buck will still be alive 4 days from now.
Yep.
And I saw those guys the next day, and they were like, yeah, we got about 400 yards from where they were bedded, and then the wind got wrong on us, so we just hunkered down. And then they blew out over the top, and it was like, I knew that because I had experience in there. So it was 3 days later, I went in there, and I did the big wrap around to get away from the thermals, and came in, and I ended up getting that buck. So I was like, the unit in the area that you have the most experience with is the unit you're probably going to have the best success with.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in that, especially if you don't, let's say this is like you've waited for a long time to draw a tag, and, if you go side by side in there or hiking in there, or it's just near your home and you just know it, that's great. I mean, it's, knowing the country is everything. I mean, we strategize out of state stuff and tags based off of how much we know.
Well, yeah,
about the country, and we start over sometimes, but if we can help it, we stay in the same areas that we've hunted.
Yeah. And it's different from what I used to do, because when I was younger, and when I was single, I used to just love the adventure part of it. So I'd pick a new unit every time I wanted to go hunting.
Yeah.
But you're really shooting yourself in the foot. Like sometimes, they were all good experiences. But sometimes, I was putting miles on just trying to find a spot that I was going to pick apart and hunt that spot.
Yeah.
But that's how I'd do it, is I'd put miles on, find the tracks, find the heavy usage, and then I'd just turn over every leaf to try and get successful.
That's it. And Nevada's special in the way that, there's big animals about every unit in Nevada. Yeah. I would say probably every unit.
Yeah. We're probably going to be hunting Colorado this year.
Hopefully, yeah. That's going to be a new one, but we're going to learn it.
Yeah.
And we have a future plan for deer and elk in some of these units that we're going to start this venture this year, hopefully.
Yep.
So, that'll give us some these lagging times when I don't usually draw Nevada, but when I don't draw Nevada, because I'm a little bit picky about stuff, but that'll give me an opportunity to go hunt.
Yeah, and what was I going to say about that? I was going to say,
we did
the
research.
trophy potential of Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
Because, we got these Colorado tags. If we kill a 300-inch bull,
I'm good.
that's a trophy there. You don't pass that up. Whereas, I've known guys and I've seen guys pass up 350-inch bulls in Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
And it's you're not going to find that anywhere else.
No.
Yeah. You might in a few select units, but that's literally every unit of Nevada.
Yeah. That's our target bull for...
And then even deer, like we were talking about, a lot of these western states are managing for quantity of tags and not quality of deer. Nevada is the last holdout that still manages for quality bucks.
Yeah. And even though the tag increases happen, there's data behind it. And there may be some waves about why we did it or what have you, but let's see how this shakes out this year.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is we stopped killing does a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about that every single video.
I know, please stop killing does. Like,
point home.
I don't know, man.
Like, I can kind of get behind.
I get it with your juniors and stuff, but it's like,
Yeah.
even then, there's bucks out there you can shoot.
Well, like, I want my kids to be able to experience deer hunting, and
Yeah.
they're not going to if we keep killing does.
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah,
it's one thing if your population's increasing, like with elk and with antelope, they're so productive that their populations just keep going up. So it's like, I can kind of get behind doe tags in that aspect.
Yeah.
But the deer population's been falling off a cliff since the late 80s. So it's like, why were we hunting does up until 2 years ago?
Yeah, and what comes to mind is like Utah.
Yeah.
Some of the Utah units were, I mean, you can't, it's tough. It's tough to find a buck that is worth shooting in some of these, in a lot of these general tags. So I mean, managing is everything.
In-down manages pretty good. There's things they can do better, but pretty good comparatively.
And there's a lot that goes into it, and I don't claim to know it all, but it seems like we could go without, and we'll probably have a 5-minute rant on no shooting does on about every video.
Man, if I could get the biologist guy now on here.
Woo. Yeah.
Whoa, we'll make that a topic of the conversation. I want to get his inputs on where he thinks.
I just would like to see what would happen if we did it for 2 to 3 years.
I'd like to see what would happen if we did it for 5 or 6 years at least. Because then that gives you that mature age structure. It gives you a long enough data set to see if the population's still going down or if it's starting to come back up.
Yeah.
Granted, there is going to be some outside influence because we have had 3 wet winters. And we were devastated by drought the last 15 years. Because like since 2009, we've had 2011, 16, 17, 19. Yeah. So up until 2022, so that's 13 years.
Yeah.
There were 4 wet winters.
Yeah.
So over the course of 13 years, there were only 4 that were above average.
But none that were as devastating as 23 though.
Right. And it's like 23 was devastating because it was hard, but 23 was devastating because we had 3 consecutive drought years before.
Yes. And
if you had a winter like 23 every single year, the deer population would be through the roof.
Yeah, and the way that the storms came in with freezing, like snow frozen, like there wasn't even everything was having a hard time even getting to the ground.
Yeah.
To the ground. So yeah. But we have to do one on predation too. Because listening to that podcast the other day on Epic with the Nevada biologist, they're going to introduce sheep into 14 to 15.
Yep.
And they said one of the prerequisites for bringing them down or bringing them into that area from the muddies was the predation, like mountain lions in particular.
Yeah. So, they have to go in. They have to knock down the predator population before they put the sheep in there, because if you just throw the sheep in there, then they're just
easy pickings. Yeah,
they're sitting ducks.
Yeah, so that's interesting because we know a lot of guys that run hounds, and let a lot of lions go. And I know it's touchy, but I think I'd rather see some of my friends harvest lions than hire somebody from the state to use that tax dollars and
that's the thing
predation
too, right?
dollars to go kill lions that we're already putting in trees or baying up in rock piles. I mean, I understand. Like and there's factors like you have to like. There's probably some of our friends that would do that. They would shoot 5-year-old females and stuff like that if they knew that was the end out plan.
Yeah.
Right. They would probably help out that way, but that's an interesting one. That'd be a hot topic.
Yeah, the predation one. That's a hot topic. That's a good one. I'd like.
When you're catching 4 or 5 lions a day, in my opinion, there's too many damn lions.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Sorry,
and that's probably going to ruffle some feathers, but it's like these are just conversations. Like we're not set in
And
stone.
I don't have
on
any
of these.
data whatsoever. Like I'm just
Yeah.
speaking. When you hear Andal on a podcast say we gotta take out a bunch of lines in an area to introduce sheep,
Mhm.
and you know people that hunt lions and put them up and let them go, time after time after time after time after time. I understand the hound thing. I understand the dog. You know, I mean that's houndsmen are houndsmen, and we all have our niche, but man, they're gonna take them out anyway.
Yeah, and this is
So-
one of those things where it's like we try not like we're not set in stone on a lot of things. We
Yeah.
want to have conversation and have this be like a civil conversation. You know, like we could bring in a houndsman that always lets cats go and get his reasoning why. We could
Yeah.
bring in some guys from Endow to talk about like how they have to take these hounds out. We can bring in some diehard deer hunters that are like adamantly wanting lions removed to help deer populations.
Yeah.
We just want these conversations to be out there because a lot of times nowadays people like they hear something they disagree with and it's instant fight mode.
And it's not. We're not. I don't want it to be that way. I just
Yeah,
want it to be like.
I want the
then
answer,
Give me
right?
a reason, like, because
Yeah,
if they're taking them off the landscape anyway, but the thing is like, did they know? Did our buddies know? Like, hey, they're going to be doing this anyway.
right.
Maybe Endow contacts guides and outfitters that do hound hunting all the time, and
Yeah.
say, hey, listen, we're gonna introduce.
See, that's a great idea.
We're going to introduce some sheep into 14 and 15. Can you guys go predate for us? And you know, you guys do what you do. You're the best at it. You're the best at putting the lions in trees,
Yeah.
and it's recreating, and it gets to work your hounds. And we kind of we coexist that way. Like,
And that's
you know?
that's a great option. Like that would be a phenomenal avenue to take because that means they're not going to spend as much tax dollars doing that. And then the guides and outfitters that are guiding there, they're going to make money and it's going to boost them. And
Yeah.
then they're going to have happy clients too.
And if
Like,
they know they're going to be,
everybody wins that way.
if they know they're going to be, 5-year-old females and 3-year-old toms, then, you charge accordingly, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe you tell you when you field those phone calls and you're like, hey, well, we have a predation area that Endow wants us to take some animals out of. Are you cool with just getting a range from this cat to this cat size? If you're good with that, I'll only charge you this much. You know?
And I know a lot of people that don't eat mountain lion or have never had it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy. It's so crazy.
It is the best meat there is.
It's so crazy to me.
amazing.
It's like eating pork.
Oh, it's like more tender than pork though. It's phenomenal. Like if you ever get the chance to eat mountain lion, do it. It is so good.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But either way, yeah. Just a lot of subject matter that we just kind of skimmed over right now.
Yeah.
So,
We didn't put a lot of thought into this one, but this one was more for input from the audience. Like if you got some videos, ideas, like some topics you want us to cover, please comment, put them in the comment section down below here and just let us know. And we'll reply to you and we'll probably, we'll find a way to weave your comment in and make a video out of it and go into depth, go into statistics and math or boots on the ground experience, whatever it takes.
We're really striving to get like a video out a week. So depending on what comes in, we'll figure out how to do more or what have you. So
and if you haven't noticed, this isn't our full-time job. We're not YouTubers.
No.
We have
I'm
to work
pretty
too.
wore out right now.
We have to work and do chores and then find time to go
raise
hunting.
kids and all everything else.
Yeah.
So all right, well, thanks for watching. I guess we'll just wrap this one up. Huh?
Yeah, let's call it good.
All right.
There's more beer to drink.
Yep. Yeah. Got Memorial Day weekend.
One
and
more for the
to
boys.
those that have served and that have lost their lives.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.